Right, we're going to go into a hip mobility exercise. So I'm going to start standing. I'm going to go into one of my favourites. You can actually do it kneeling, but when I do it standing, you might be able to see a little bit better. So you're just trying to get some mobility into those hip joints, especially if you've just woken up, if you've got lower back pain, and I'm just trying to circle. Now I can feel little clicks in the hips, so it's just quite good. To stretch hip joints, and then actually if I press the hips back and really try and stretch through the spine, if I keep the tummy pulled in, I can really feel the stretch into the lower back as well. Okay, now I'm going to do it standing. You might not be able to see so much. Soften the knees and circles. Just start with those hip circles, clicking into the hip joints and back round. I can hear that lovely owl. Okay, so I can really feel that personally on my lower back. Feet together and lengthen. Stretching into the hips. Obviously remember, any extra stretches for the back goes into the hip joints as well. I'm going to bend my knees again and circle. And back round. Sideways on, soften the knees, pull the tummy in. Squeeze the tummy, get that curl through the lower back and stretch the arms. Let the head hang again. Really feel that stretch, and then open the arms wide and hands back. Pull the shoulders back, soften the knees and start to circle in the hips again. Just feeling if they feel a bit looser, maybe feet wider, bigger circles. Oh, now they're clicking. And back round. Oh, that was a good click, wasn't it? Feet wider and circle. So I'm really getting that stretch into the hip joints. Adductors, abductors, and back round. So you want to really feel the stretch on the inner thighs. And back round. Oh, that's lovely on the hips. So hold there. I'm going to take my hands down. If you can reach the hands, you can widen the feet. Again, let the head drop down. And just feel that lengthen all the way up from the feet, inside of the thighs, up into the pelvis. And just let the head hang. I know, so I'm a bit flexible in there. So keep the tummy lifted and just let your head hang. And then from there, your hands can go down if you can. And I'm just moving the hips left to right. So I'm going to move my hips to the right. And I'm really stretching up the inside of that left leg. And another side. So it's a really subtle stretch. Now, hips back to the centre. I'm going to move myself over to the right leg and stretch. Now you might not be that flexible, you might be reaching down there, but that's fine. Let this hand support you. And then other side. Okay, back to the centre. Again, we're going to do that movement hip to hip. Now I can start to feel that stretching in the lower back. So my hips are moving side to side. Stretch right to the top of the hip joint. Now I'm going to push my hips to the left. So this right leg is being stretched on the inside of the leg. My hands are supporting me, shoulders are down, drop the head. Now hold in that position. And I want to really take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, relax, pelvis, pelvic floor. Up and the other side. Now breathe in, breathe out, relax. slowly walk the feet back in, soften the knees. I've dropped my head and I'm just slowly rolling up. Good, and I'm going to go back into a few circles. Just feel if that feels a little bit different, and back round the other way. Okay, so from there, I'm going to go into a side lunge. So I'm going to take the leg over to the side. Very similar area we're stretching. So leg to the side, my toes are forward to start. So you can take the leg as far away as you want, or as close, and stretch over to the side. So a really lovely lateral side bend. At the same time, I want to feel the stretch here. Hold, breathing in, coming back up. I'm going to change the foot to there, and then over again. And back. Now, I'm going to take my hands forward, and then I want to really focus on the stretch on the inner thigh. Now, what I want to do is just a gentle forward and back. Now I'm moving the foot forward and up. Right, really try not to grip with the pelvic floor. So I didn't start with engaging the core deliberately. I don't want you to squeeze the pelvic floor. If the hips are tight, then it could be your pelvic floor is tight. I'm going a little bit further down now. Just go in a position that if you can feel it, so it'll be different for everyone, obviously. Up, pressing down. This is my tight side. And again, this is one of the ones that you can just gently massage. Oh, my foot's slipping. That's very good. I'm going to do the side splits in a minute. Oh, that's really tight. And it can be the fascia, so the reason I'm kind of grabbing the skin and just doing this is it releases the fascia. So it doesn't really matter if you're rubbish at massage. You can do tiny little pinches, big pinches. It's just trying to get the fascia moving. So if you've done a lot of work in the inner thighs, or you try and do pelvic floor squeezes, then this can all be too tight. Good. Okay, I've got to lift my leg now. Hold on. Okay. And then other side. So we're going to go on to the other leg in front in a minute, but let's do the other leg first. So we're starting here. Hold. So my foot is flat, and then a nice lateral side bend. So I can start to feel it stretch under there. Breathing in, come back. I'm going to turn the foot, heel, and same thing. So really lovely stretch in here, and release. Okay, foot down, forward, and I'm slowly starting to go forward. And just move forward and back, just see where it feels tight for you. And then I'm turning a bit onto the heel. Again, you can massage along there. Often feel it quite tight around the knee. And release, so breathe wide and full. Good, okay, so slowly bring the leg back. And I'm going to go sideways, and we're going to do a hamstring stretch. So this is a great stretch after you've been walking. So I am holding onto the wall behind me. If you're very tight, you might find that position very uncomfortable. You want to try and get that leg straight. Press the bottom back, feel like you're lifting the coccyx up. Then if you can, go all the way down the leg. So you want to feel that stretch. Hamstrings in the knee, and reach towards the foot. Okay, pressing the foot forward for a hip flexor stretch. So it's the other hip you're trying to lengthen. So try and really press down with the hips. You can walk that front foot slightly sideways. So I've got my hands on the inside. And if you want to go a little bit harder, you can go up on the back foot. So it's quite nice to just do a little bit of movement. Also, I can feel the release in the lower back. Shoulders are down. The knee can be down. It's just totally up to you, whatever's comfortable. Actually, you're very tight hamstring. It is quite good to try and work the other side as well. I can't do it. Hold on, you can do that like that. Let's see if we can do that. So that gets the hip flexor a little bit more as well. Grab the front of the foot. I know that's impossible, and then I can feel it on that knee. The back knee. That's a good stretch for the hip flexor. Okay, then bring that front foot across. So I might go forward so you can see. So the front foot is here, and I'm going to take that foot across. So this is called the pigeon pose. So I've got my knee here, so I've got dark trousers on, foot across, and keep my hands wide. Then you want to start feeling a stretch on that back glute, or the glute that's got the bent leg. Breathe wide and full. Shoulders are down. Now, you want to try and bring your upper body down. I'm biding my time because it's still tight. I want to breathe into it to stretch it. And then slowly bring myself down. So this is a brilliant glute stretch, brilliant hip stretch. You can stretch all the way forward. Okay, now I'm coming back up. Still feels tight, so really be aware of how it feels. Open the other hip. Now I'm going to take my weight onto my hand and the back toe and bring that front leg forward again, taking the foot wide. So my knee is back behind me, hands down. I'm lifting up the knee, and if you can, you want to try and go there. Now this is a good stretch in the hip. My foot is quite wide. I'm going to lower the back knee down. Now bring the knees together. I want to do that, a lower back stretch. So curl through the lower back, stretching yourself, sort of almost like a cat stretch, tucking your pelvis under, breathe wide and full at the head drop. Taking the bottom down towards the heels, stretch the arms out in front. I'm just moving in the back. You can come up and again, up and under. Okay, now release. We're going to go to the other side. So hamstrings first. So take the leg out in front. Hips alignment, get that stretch into the hamstrings, and I'm slowly taking myself down onto that leg. Flex the foot, shoulders down. So push your bottom out away from you, opposite arm to the foot. Okay, pressing the front foot forward. So going into that hip flexor stretch, this might be enough for you. So you want to feel thighs open, knee can stay down, shoulders down. My weight's a little bit into the hands to give myself support. So then I can take the weight off the legs and then just slowly press and stretch a little bit more in the legs. Okay, if you want to make it harder, lift up that back knee. I'm just being aware of breathing into the stretch. So breathing in, breathing out, let the stretch, let the thigh lengthen. So do all of this with breath work. So you want to feel that on your out breath, you relax and stretch more. Okay, bring the knee down. Good. And then taking the foot across. So bring the foot across here, knee down, and lengthen the other leg away. So first of all, as I said before, you'll find it feels tight in that glute. So I'm trying to keep my hips square. Trying to drop my right hip. Trying to feel that stretch into that glute. Then when you're ready, if you're happy to, try and go down and get that full stretch. So I'm really trying to press my right hip down to get that stretch into the left glute. Okay, I'm going to slowly come back up, so I'm on the toes of the other leg, hands down, and lift that left foot forward and go slightly further out. And if you can, go down onto the elbow. So I'm really stretching into the hips. If you need to lower the knee, that's fine. Try and keep the back flat. Okay, slowly coming up. And okay, so I'm just going to come all the way down onto my chest, shoulders down. I'm going to lift the feet and drop them side to side. So just a little bit of a stretch into the lower back, the hips. Okay, release, and I'm going to lift my right knee. Okay, relaxing that position, pushing the knee away. I'm then going to press down with that hip. So the glute goes down, and what I'm trying to aim for is a really big stretch on that inner thigh. So with the pressure down, I'm pushing down. 1, 2, 4, 5, release. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release. 1, 2. Now really try not to hold on to the pelvic floor. Breathe. And release. Then change other side. So my other knee is lifted. And I'm going to press down with the knee and the hip. So press down. So use that glute. Push. So often we're doing a reverse stretch. So it means that it stretches it more because we're in tension. So I'm pressing down. Release, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release. Okay, good. I'm going up onto hands and knees, and widen the knees, and I want you to press open. So we're going into a down child pose, and I want you to really consciously release the hips and the pelvis if you can in this position. So I'm going to come up, so I'm going to give my knees a bit of a grip, coming up, and press forward. So knees are wide. I want you to focus on your breath. Breathe in. As you push back, I want you to focus on relaxing, releasing. And breathing out and relax, release. And when I mean that, I mean pelvic floor, muscles, pelvis. Okay, coming all the way down. I'm lifting my right knee again and I'm pressing again. So press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release, change sides. Same thing. And press with the knee, press with the hip, squeeze the glute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. And you go up. This time, child pose. Keep that curve in the lower back. Coming back up, weight onto the hands, shoulders down, tuck the toes under, and a downward dog, and press. Just gently press the heels, pedal the feet. So when you're ready, you can just stop and press the heels away. Okay, I'm walking myself forward a bit. My hands are going forward. I'm going to lift the leg. So as soon as I lift my right leg, my left heel has to go down. I'm lifting, bending, 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 and I'm going to go slightly to the side. And what I'm aiming to do is let that hip relax. Going back, change sides, lift, bend the knee, and drop. Release, and back down, knees, and stretch. Coming back up onto your hands and knees, go into a cat stretch. And then I'm going to repeat that, and I'm doing it front way so you can see what my leg is doing. So hands down, tuck the toes under, and lift into a downward dog. So press the heels back, alternate, heel, heel, and lifting the right leg again, or it would be left leg. Keep the knee bent. I'm dropping the foot over to the side. And the aim, you should feel the stretch all the way up into the tummy. So that's the hip flexor. Again, this is a gravity release. And release, weight into the hands, lift the other leg, bend the knee, and drop over. Okay, release, coming back onto the, down into a child pose. Okay, so we're only halfway through. Right, I've got a lot more hip mobility, but I mean, that's pretty good. If you want to stop there, do, but there's more. So coming down onto your back. I'm just going to take pillow under my head, and I'm going to do, like, it's called dead bug. So this is for stabilizing the hips and the pelvis. So pelvis in neutral, lower back down, rib cage down. I want you to focus on your breath, breathing in, breathing out, engage the core. So you're squeezing between the hip bones, engaging lower abdominal muscles. Just to check pelvic floor transverse abdominis engaged, I want you to lift one knee and lower and change. So we're engaging between the hip bones. So it's squeezed here. And I always check if one side's a lot stronger than the other. So my right is a lot stronger, so I'm a lot stronger and tighter on the right. With then going to lift one knee up, engage the core, other knee up and hold. So again, this should be transverse abdominis engaged, opposite sides, and you're going to go opposite arm and leg. So you can either tap, breathe out, or straighten the leg. Tap. So I'm alternating. Okay, so if you have any hip problems, it is important to do some stabilising and pick your level. You don't have to, just because you're strong doesn't mean you should pick the highest level, because your hip flexors are tight for a reason. So you need to gradually strengthen. Just because they're tight doesn't mean they're strong. Shoulders are down, tap. One more, straight leg. And release. Knees in towards the chest and a gentle rock from side to side. Okay. Any issues with hips? You might need the feet to go down to rock. And I want you to be aware of the tension in the hip joints going up into the obliques, into the waist. So as you drop the knees over, really try and relax, release here, which will help release any tension in the lower back. Up and to the other side. Okay, come back to the centre, bring the knees in, and I want you to just gently drop the knees wide. So again, this is mobility into the hip joints. Let the feet relax. If it's really hard to do this, then start with the feet down and drop the knees. Now, it is quite good just to relax in this position and let gravity open and relax the knees. If you are very tense in this area, what you can do, we're going to do it now, is you do the resistance. So if you can bring the knees in and open, I want you to press the knees into the hands. So we're pressing open for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now again, hands on the inside of the knees, press in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, and I'm just stretching. And then again, press open. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opposite side, press in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just relax and open. Okay, knees in, one leg up, point and flex the foot for the sciatic nerve. Holding on to that leg, stretch the other leg away. So this is another hamstring stretch if you've been walking a lot in the holidays. And some people prefer this one to the kneeling one. So it's just up to you. But another good one, again with that resistance, is press the leg into the hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And you'll find that muscle will release tension to then be able to stretch a little bit more. And again, inner thighs, then do the stretch leg to the side. And I just put the other leg slightly wide. So it doesn't matter where that knee is. Doesn't even matter if it's bent. Sorry, my foot. Just getting that stretch on those inner thighs. And back and change. So sorry, this knee in, that leg up. Point and flex the foot. Okay, and stretch. So other leg away. And you can hold under the calf, the thigh, but try not to do the knee. Hold it there and point and flex the foot. Good, shoulders down. Now press into the hands. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release and pull it back down. So get that stretch. Try not to bounce. And open. It's a bit shaky. Okay, we're nearly done. Stretch. Okay, good. Knees in now and take them all the way to the side. Getting a stretch through the spine. And back to the centre. And bring yourself up to a seated position. Hold on, I'm just going to get rid of that so I can see the time. Okay, so in a seated position, just holding in this position. Again, when I said to you that when you're on your back and your knees are open and you do that resistance, you can do it in this position as well. So you press the knees down into the hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now, if you've got one side's a lot tighter, so my side's always the right, you can do it more on the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press. And it does feel a lot looser. It's definitely looser after what we've done today. As I said, try not to bounce, so I'm really bad at that. Shoulders down, gentle twist. Back to the centre and twist. Okay, now legs wide and into the saw. Shoulders down, lift up, drop the shoulders and twist to your right. Now open out into the hip. As I twist, I then lengthen and I want to feel the opposite leg open and lengthened. Stretch through the back, nice spine stretch. Now open up, lift up that arm and look up. Nice twist and centre, walk the hands forward. It's a really lovely stretch and open into the hips. Sorry, you might not be able to get the head down, but that's fine. And then other side, twist, open that hip, over, stretch. Drop the shoulders and lift up. So I'm now twisting and opening here. Release and forward again. Okay, changing a little bit. Bring the foot in and I twist over that leg. Oh, big click. And then stretch. And then up, change sides. Knee in and open, twist and go down. And that's where I'm tight. Okay, good. So same thing, one more. I'm going to go leg behind and I'm going to grab that foot. We didn't do it on the other side, did we? So that's a good quad hip flexor stretch. I know some of you said walking, so that is a really good stretch after walking. And change. You can mobilise in the hip joint here and change over. Knee back. Pressing the foot in, so you're stretching the quads and the hip flexor. And back. And really nice opening in the hip joint. Okay, back to centre and drop the knees, and cross. Lifting up again, those arm circles. And a gentle twist. And thank you very much. So I'm going to say goodbye to the video.